Um, sometimes you guys catch us late, and we're just coming on, and we're having a little pre-show convos, and we're kind of going around talking about things we're watching here, and I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning on that Dallas Cowboys documentary. Jerry Jones is nuts. Jimmy Johnson, psycho. The way they place it is that Jimmy Johnson went ahead and said and told his wife of 20 plus years that this is going to be more important, and I think we should end it here. And ended it to become the Dallas Cowboy head coach. And left her ass in Miami or wherever she was.
He said, actually, I'm married to the Cowboys now.
Yeah, he said, there's nothing else that matters to me. My family, my wife, my kids, doesn't matter. I said, damn, this guy is ruthless. This guy is crazy. I mean, Andy didn't have to do that with Tammy, and the 5. So that was a little wild. And I will be honest, Steve, it was not at all on my bingo card that BK was going to parachute in with, I haven't had a chance to watch any of the Kingdom documentary. By the way, I've blown through all 6 of those episodes. And any of that other stuff because I've been really on this Love is Blind UK. That, Steve, was never. First, shout out to Chris Jericho. On my bingo card that Brandon Kiley, who I believe personally, I cannot prove it, but I believe personally sets aside an hour a day to just go over statistics on whatever sports, whether the Chiefs, Missouri, the Blues, the Cardinals, whatever. I believe sets aside, I can't prove it, sets aside an hour to just go over statistics and to come up with good stats that fit his arguments. And this guy has time to sit down and watch Love is Blind UK. I'm going to be honest. Now, listen, Steve is a absolute snob when it comes to he acts like I don't watch bad TV. All of the TV
I don't.
I watch,
I
all the
don't.
TV, I have standards. I'm above 75% on tomatoes, Rotten Tomatoes. I watch good stuff. So Steve, he's not in this. Now I've watched a little Love is Blind. All right. Now I've hung out with Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey. I've hung out with them. I had to throw in the towel, though, several seasons ago. I think Nancy was my last season, and you were rolling over to other countries. Why? I would not have guessed that.
Well, you guessed wrong. I am all in on the Love is Blind phenomenon. I was a late arrival, and I'm staying on the train longer than most. I'm all in on the UK season. I think it's fantastic. The accents are great. The people are beautiful. The most recent season in America was in Minnesota, and there was a lot of drama, don't get me wrong. I didn't think it was a particularly great season of Love is Blind, though. So if you want any takes, I mean, we can go through that. But the other show that we're watching right now, the other show we're watching, I mean, there's been a lot of drama post-season. Like one of the people is now dating one of the other individuals that was previously dating, and yeah, it got wild. I've had some follow-up stuff that I've had to do some sleuthing for in the aftermath. And then we're on the other show that we watch with a religious nature is Big Brother. So that's also in the heart of the season right now as well.
Yeah. See, I don't watch. My brother-in-law is a Big Brother fan.
I'm fully aware that it's a horrible television show, as is Love is Blind.
Oh, you watch bad television. Terrible. Stop it. Listen,
this doesn't do it for me. It never has. I would encourage you to watch Platonic on Apple TV if you haven't yet. Platonic, fantastic show.
Couldn't hang in there. It was good. It was all right. I couldn't hang in.
It's hilarious. Or Alien Earth is out now. It's been really good so far.
Yeah, that sounds like I'd rather get into Love is Blind UK. I wrote from the beginning. I was season 1. And Lauren and Cameron still together. They're actually having a baby now. So happy for them. Yeah. I was in there.
I've seen them at the reunions.
Yes, they are the power couple, man. So it's all right. I did not have that for you.
I feel like it's a new part of my personality, and I'm happy to show it off. It's like the guy that goes into like his 40s or 50s, and then he gets a muscle car. That's me, but with Love Is Blind. Like I'm a late arrival, but here we are.
Like I didn't think you watched what I watched. Now I like Serda gets annoyed with me. Now I watch good stuff too, but baby, I'm telling you, most nights during the football season during the fall, and we're recording this, I'm waiting to get off because I got Matlock that is recording and ready to go, followed up by Elspeth on CBS. What a great back-to-back 2 hours of television for me personally. Maybe you don't record Dateline on Friday nights. I do. So I'm not expecting. I'm trying to think of what television. If you had to pin me down and say what show prior to the last 30 minutes that I found out that you're a Love Is Blind train, maybe try The Ultimatum. That's pretty good too on Netflix. Anyway, I'm trying to think if you had to give me one show that you're watching, like. Now I feel bad for saying it. Like what I would think like, man, he's hell on wheels for Big Bang Theory. Like that. Like I'm trying to think like, all right, the wife. We all roll into shows that the wife makes us watch.
Oh, dude, like if you don't think that we have seen every true crime that currently exists on Netflix, you are so wrong.
Oh, I'm into those too. I tell you. But, like I would think like, hey, what is this? What is this? The Hunting Wives. if you want to try that one, hey, it is.
Now we're going in a direction that I don't think is real.
No, it is. Hey, it's got some great.
I haven't watched it.
It's aggressive.
I've heard about it, but
it's got good actors. It's a real show. It's like one of Netflix's top shows, and it's about kind of the elite society in East Texas. And this family moves from Massachusetts because he gets a job working for who's the guy? Damn it, what is his name? He's been in all kinds of stuff. Anyway, but they moved to East Texas. So Brittany Snow and her husband, they moved to East Texas, and she's kind of with the elite society, and it is
this is a legit cast.
Yeah. Old girl. I don't know why. I just remember her from The Proposal, and she was the woman that Ryan Reynolds used to date before it fell.
Also a fantastic movie, by the way.
Oh, terrific! I'm a rom-com connoisseur, so straight up, it's complicated. It's a top 5 movie of all time for me personally.
My wife and I went through. The Ringer has a list of the top rom-coms of all time, and we went through like the top 20.
That's beautiful. I'm going to have to find that list because I want to see how many I have watched. God, but it's complicated. Meryl Streep, Steve Martin, Alec Baldwin. Woo! That's good. That's a real good one. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry I didn't have that. I'm proud of you, man. The more you know. We've been doing this podcast together for hell, I don't know, but several years,
I think,
something like that. Yeah, and I didn't know that. And
When Harry Met Sally, #1 on their rankings, by the way.
Well, that's bullshit. I'm sorry. That's old timey. Like that's. I mean, Silver Linings Playbook is a better film than that, and that clearly rolls into rom-com.
Number 47 on their list.
Are you kidding me?
No, Silver Linings Playbook's a good movie.
47.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right, just give me the top 5 real quick. I need to hear it. Let's go. Harry Met Sally.
Harry Met Sally. #2, Pretty Woman. #3, You've Got Mail. #4, Clueless, which, by the way, on rewatch.
That's awful.
I had not seen this
Bill,
until a couple
Bill
of years
right
ago.
behind this?
No. Clueless was a wild experience.
Clueless over
5, Jerry Maguire.
All right, man. Let's move on to the podcast. We could do a legit different. We can roll up on Foolish Club Media and do a complete different breakdown on that. And actually, I want to redo my list. I'm going to do my top 50 all time. I'm gonna match theirs. I'm going to do my top 50 at some point. That really pisses me off. All right. Listen, I just want to make sure before we move on the pod that you two are all right. Because we lost.
That's weird. I was going to do the same thing for you.
We lost Skyy Moore. I know how you guys, I mean, you guys held on to God's unchanging hand with Skyy Moore. Clearly, Serda jumped off earlier, but you all hung on, and it's finally over. I just want to make sure you all are in a good place because I know how much you all wanted to make that work.
I will forever have his touchdown in the Super Bowl, and that's enough for me. You know, the Sammy Watkins experience, like he had a couple of really big plays in some playoff runs, and that made it worthwhile.
No, Sammy, let's not do that to Sammy. Let's not put Sammy in that boat. By the way, his moment that you're talking, Sammy. Listen, please don't.
Sammy had some big NFL games.
I'm gonna say, please don't judge me. But I have.
Sammy had a 3-touchdown game once.
I've really been Jacksonville. I've really been banging out the incline 40 to 60 minutes on the old treadmill. That has been something that I have been really hitting consistently here lately. And what I do is I just watch games in condensed versions to get me through the walk. And I've been watching the hell out of the 2018, 19, 20, all of the seasons. And I've watched a lot of Sammy Watkins. Damn, was he making plays. So let's not compare Skyy Moore, who on the one play you are referencing is the memory, he ran the wrong route.
You lined up in the wrong place, but yeah.
and just did, and it worked out anyway because Eric, Andy, and Pat were that good. So listen,
he had fewer than 3 touchdowns in his career. Sammy Watkins had a 3-touchdown game. So slightly different Chiefs careers, but both immensely important for their playoff success nonetheless. So shout out to Skyy Moore. They don't win that Super Bowl without you, bud.
No, they don't. They don't. Kadarius Toney was a better player than he was. Listen, I want to, like, we have fun with Skyy, and we have for a while. But listen, you guys weren't insane when you were losing your minds about how excited you were about that second-round pick. I mean, look at what Rashid Rice has become. He's a third-round pick. I think if he didn't get injured, he may be thought of as a top 10 receiver in the league already right now. So it wasn't crazy. There was things that you really saw and how he could fit. And by God, we watched what Juju did the year before, and the thought was, oh my God, he's faster and quicker in every way. He is going to be able to do this. I'm serious. What happened? Like, honest to God, what happened? Because the biggest shock to me is his floor was so low, right? Like, I don't know that I agreed that this dude was going to be as good as you guys kind of thought he did. And I would say, like, let's hold your horses. You were trying to push out McCole Hardman. And they may be trying to go after him again in other news. But you were trying to push him out of the way and let's get Skyy Moore in there. But his floor, I thought, was Juju. Like, I don't know if he'd be, Wes Welker, but his floor was like Juju to me. No, Jack, his floor was that Powell fella that got cut, but only because he wasn't a second-round pick. I mean, that's the part that blows me away, is that his floor was so low.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. I think what we learned with this experience with Skyy Moore was, like, man, if you're going to be a slot receiver, 2 things have to be true for you. 1, you have to be able to play through contact, and he can't. And 2, you have to be pretty darn agile, and he's not. Like, you go back to his testing numbers, Ron, and his 3-cone was 20th percentile. His short shuttle was 29th percentile. Like, he was a below average athlete when it came to his change of direction skills. So he's small. He doesn't change directions overly well, and he doesn't play through contact at this level well. I don't know if you could have seen that in his college film. Like, when I watched him,
I was going to say it didn't show that.
No, but he was playing at such a lower level that it was a pretty big projection to say, hey, this 5'9", a $195 receiver is going to be able to translate to the next level. He was a really small athlete, but I thought he would be able to do it. And man, he just never did. And he doesn't look like the same player today that he was in that first season. Like, I think he consistently got worse for the Chiefs over the last couple of seasons. I think he's a worse player today than he was in 22.
Steve, he stopped being able to how to catch. Then he couldn't catch.
And I think like he never, it's not even that it just like didn't work out. He didn't live up to his draft hype or didn't put it all together. At no point did he ever really look like he was an NFL caliber player. Like it just never worked out. And I remember like when the Chiefs drafted him, like there's a lot of really respected draft analysts who were like,
"Oh yeah,
Chiefs got such a steal in Skyy Moore, like unreal." The league let the Chiefs draft Skyy Moore, and it just never ever worked. And then I think by the end of it, like, you know, it was kind of nice to see him return that punt late against Seattle, because it was like after he had a couple of brutal drops prior to that. It was nice to see him just like kind of make a play, just like feeling for him as a person, and not like, because I was like, well, he's not going to make the team, so I don't care. So it's just nice to see him do something positive. Maybe he can land on another team, and he gets an opportunity to do that, because I do think there's something in the idea too that like he just couldn't handle the pressure of playing for this team. And so maybe a change of scenery and going somewhere else, and an offense that like Kyle Shanahan's offense can be pretty friendly to players like him, like, you know, short area passes, just try to get into some space and you know, pick up some yards and stuff like that. And that might be something that he could figure out and do, and something that I'm not saying he's ever going to be like a guy who actually plays meaningful snaps for the 49ers, but that could be a role that he could possibly actually be serviceable in the NFL. But he just never got it figured out, and it never translated from the small school that he came from to the NFL.
And Ron, the other thing, like if you go back to that 2022 class and you look at the receivers that were selected, like mid first round and beyond, man, most of them have not worked out. I mean, listen to some of these names from that year's class: Jahan Dotson, Treylon Burks, Christian Watson, who is perpetually hurt for the Packers, but is talented whenever he's on the field.
He's good when he's playing.
Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson, he's had some moments, but he's like a mini-sized slot receiver. John Mechie was just traded. Tyquan Thornton is now a Kansas City Chief already. George Pickens was traded this offseason. He's a maniac, but at least he's talented. Alec Pierce is fine. And then Skyy Moore. Like most of these guys that were selected in the top 50 in that year's class just did not work out for one reason or another. It was a really weird receiver class.
Yeah, but it's a different didn't work out. Like Alec
Pierce, no doubt.
Alec Pierce can play. I don't know what they expected. He can play. Like some of those guys. Hell,
he has 1,900 career yards. Skyy Moore has 400.
Yeah, I didn't know Skyy had that many. Like Thornton is clearly better than him. You know, as you watch them side by side, it is just like he shouldn't have made the team last year.
Yeah.
Like just talking about it, just how good he was. It's just the commitment of the pick you made is clearly why he was there, but he should have made it last year.
I mean, the story is pretty similar to Felix Anudike-Uzomah, right? I mean, it's different positionally, but like Felix doesn't necessarily look like a defensive end that, if the Chiefs were deep at that position, would make the roster. And obviously now you've got the injury situation, so he's not going to be on the active roster this year. But I mean, that should be a huge loss for the Chiefs to lose their first round pick from a couple of seasons ago. And I mean, it's not great because they needed that depth at the position, but it's not some devastating loss the way that it should feel as though it is for losing that high of a draft pick.
Now,
a couple of guys that were drafted in the top 50 that just have not worked out for them recently.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw Clyde in there too. Like, sure. I mean, like they've had some. That's 2 first rounders and a second rounder that doesn't work, but they're able to find it somewhere else, right? Like Watson's a 6th round pick, and Rasheed is a 3rd round pick, and they're able to pull it off in other spaces, but. Yeah, you're not gonna hit them all, but boy, they've had some that didn't work out. But no, I mean, it is a weird case to figure out that not that it just didn't work out, right? I mean, it was to shit. Like it was bad. It was very clear. Oh, he can't play. He can't play. And I agree with you a little bit, sort of. There was, I guess it's pressure. I think it just snowballed on him about just how bad he was playing, and he knew how bad he was playing, and he was hearing it. Hell, Carrington was killing him on a daily basis locally. Like he was hearing it, and his confidence was absolutely shot. So
I think it's that combined with I do think there was some injury stuff with this. Like I think his athleticism looks worse today than it did when we first saw him in 22 in a Chiefs uniform. I think at the time there was some confidence that was lacking and a lack of understanding of the playbook, but at least there was some of the athleticism that you would want to see. And since then, like as you would think, the confidence would start to increase and the understanding of the offense and all of those things. As that started to increase for him, the athleticism went in the other direction. And it just, in that way, it is kind of similar to Clyde. The two stories are kind of correlated.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to be on the field. What did they get? They get a 7th and a 6th swap. I believe that was what the trade was with the 49ers.
Yes. They got a 6th for a 7th in Skyy.
Yeah, worthless. Well, not worthless. Maybe they'll do something with it. They're worthless. But no, man, I do. I hope the kid catches on. He at least has his pension. All right. He's not going to be here, but according to Andy, the starters are going to play at home, and they're going to play. And the Bears starters, according to Ben Johnson, said they're going to play, and that's going to come out as this will come out later on in the day and at night here Friday night when the Chiefs play. What is it? I don't know how long these guys are going to go, but what is it that you're looking for in this game? This is the last tune-up. By the way, the Chiefs didn't do any joint practices with any of these teams, did they?
They never do.
Yeah, they don't ever do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they didn't do any joint practices with these teams. So, but this will be the it before they go to Brazil and play the Chargers. What are we looking at?
Line, man. Same thing I talked about with Serda a couple of weeks ago. Like the game one, it was very clear. The number one thing that I was looking for was, what does this offensive line look like? How many reps do they get? How do they filter these guys in? Like, does Kingsley get every rep at left guard? Or do they consider, hey, we kind of need Jalen Moore to find out, what does it feel like to play next to Josh Simmons? What is it like to be with Simmons and Creed? How do the combo blocks work? What does this all feel like? They have not done that yet. The starting offensive line has played exactly 21 reps so far in this preseason run. I don't love that. I don't love that at all. I would like to see them go a little deeper into this game. I don't think they're going to do it, but man, I want to see more of Josh Simmons. I think he looks fine. I'm not worried about him necessarily, but I just want him to get more reps at the NFL level before we get into week one. Didn't we learn this the hard way a year ago with Kingsley? I think there's some value in just playing football. So I would like to see Josh Simmons go out there more often. And more importantly, I just want them to work through their issues right now at left guard. If that means Kingsley gets 2 series and then you have a 3rd series where the first team offensive line is out there, I would like to see Moore go over to the left guard position before he bumps over to right tackle with the 2nd unit. I would like to see him get some reps with that first unit to see, all right, does this look better? Is he a better option for us right now than Kingsley Suamataia? Because this team is not in position to be like, you know what, we'll throw away the first couple of games and kind of live with whatever the results are. No, man, this team is trying to win another Super Bowl. And that means trying to get the bye. And in order to do so, you better put your best foot forward early on in the season, especially if Rashee Rice is available now and he's not going to be suspended until later in the season. So, yeah, I'm really curious to see what they decide to do with that first team offensive line, and that's the number one thing I'm looking for.
See, you hit something in that is my entire thought. I'm a bit surprised that they are, especially the way they approach the game in Seattle. My only guess is this is the only home game they're going to have in the preseason, and maybe they wanted to give their fans something. So they didn't play many of the guys in Seattle because they're going to play in this one. But I'm with you. I don't think they're going to play long. Andy can miss me with this quarter nonsense. In the first game, they were supposed to play a quarter. There was a damn turnover, and they had a short field, and that was it for a lot of the first teamers. Now, some of the offensive line stayed in for another series, but that's just my overall thing. Is usually when we've been around Andy, and especially as you've said, they don't do a lot of joint practices where a lot of teams use joint practices almost as a preseason like game because they can get more work done because they've got more control on what they're doing. My thing is the Chiefs normally play a lot more than you would think that a team like the Chiefs would play in preseason games. And you know what else? They're always ready. Seemingly ready, more together than other teams in September. And they seem to be out of the gates, tackling better, out of the gates, executing better, because they play like, we'll watch Josh Allen and Lamar. They haven't been playing a drop of in preseason the last several years, and Pat generally plays a couple of games, and he may play a series, sometimes a half, in the past. And I do have a small concern of this feels a little bit of a shift and different, and will this affect them being ready in September, early in the season, where they have been so good for the most part over the years in this run, where they get out in such big leads. I do question the difference in how they're approaching this now. And like you said, this offensive line is new and coming together, and they need as many live bullet reps as they possibly can. And they could potentially have, less than 40 reps, together, live bullets. I don't know. This seems to be a shift.
It makes me a little nervous. The one saving grace for me is Andy Reid is known to have an extremely difficult training camp. And I think that's a big part of this as well, is like they actually hit during training camp. And many of these teams across the NFL just don't even do that. They don't go live at any point during training camp. So their only reps of getting like tackle to the ground opportunities are during these preseason games. And maybe they're getting an extra 5 to 10 reps there. Whereas the Chiefs are getting, 30 to 40 of those reps at every single practice for a month while it's 100 degrees outside in St. Joe. So I think that is really their secret sauce, is the kind of camp that Andy Reid runs. I do find it interesting that he's changed the approach a bit. And my guess is this has more to do with Patrick Mahomes than anything else. I mean, we've seen this in recent seasons over the offseason, where you've got Camp Mahomes starting up in June, where they're going down to Texas and he's just got all of his receivers. And instead of them doing the passing camp in Kansas City, he just has them all together in Texas running those routes on air together. So we've seen a lot of adjustments under Andy Reid with Patrick Mahomes. And I guess this is the latest one. As Mahomes is getting older, he's becoming more of a veteran presence inside of that locker room. I think he's getting a little more leeway into how much or how little, in this case, some of the ones, including Mahomes, are going to play.
Yeah, I really want to see them like actually try to shake up the offensive line a little bit. I think, like Kingsley's just been bad. Like he can run block a little bit. He's been straight up awful in pass blocking situations, and I want to see what Jalen Moore looks like there. Like, why tease us with that if you're not willing to actually do that? And supposedly it's because they just want him to be their swing tackle and they want him as that rotational piece. But like, if you have to move things around, he can still be that. You can still put Kingsley back in the game, but it's also them just being like, well, we took Kingsley as a second round pick. Like we want things to work out with him. We want to get things figured out. But I do think that there is something to like those reps. Like I would like to see, even if the starters only play a series or two, and I don't think they're playing any more than that, like leave the offensive line in, let them play with Gardner Minshew for a little bit. Like we saw last week in Seattle, because they need the reps more than anybody else does.
Ron, I just looked this up. I had not looked it up previously. I normally spend an hour looking up stats. I only spent about 30 minutes this week doing so because I had to watch the UK version of Love is Blind. Kingsley Suamataia, according to Pro Football Focus, their grading scale, like if you have a 75 to 80, you're pretty good in a blocking grade. What would you guess Kingsley Suamataia's pass blocking grade has been so far this year in the preseason? Pass blocking grade scale of 0 to 100, where 75 and above is considered to be very good.
In the preseason?
Mm-hmm.
Probably 35.
Serda, any guesses?
Like 40.
16. I genuinely don't think I've ever seen a grade that low.
That's unfair.
For an offensive lineman. It is a 16.
Well, they're culturally biased, is what those.
For context, like, I mean, you're talking Skyy Moore, who has not been great, is at a 30, and then the rest of the offensive line is like 67 and above.
Well, I mean, it's a tough deal of like, obviously, like this kid has not played guard. Like he didn't play that in college.
Sure, but I'm not grading you on a curve anymore, dude. You're the starter.
What I'm saying is, like, how do we handle this? Like, he needs reps, right?
That would be my assumption.
Right? He needs reps, but Serda and you want to take away his reps to give him to Jalen Moore.
No, I want him to play for the first 2 series, and I want the starting offensive line to play more with, no pun intended, with Jalen Moore. I want him to get 2, and then for Jalen Moore to get that 3rd series. So getting 2 drives is already better than what he's had in some of these first couple of preseason.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he should just get them all. Hey, man, they need to work on this thing.
But I don't know if he's the answer. Like, I think there's a real case to be made. They should not start Kingsley Suamataia week 1.
Oh, I think there is. But what do you think their case? What do you think they're thinking? It feels like to me.
Honest to God, Ron, I don't know.
It feels like they are leaning to him. Like, I mean, that's what everything they've said. They're leaning by their actions. They feel like they're leaning towards him. So maybe they feel like he needs to get these reps and are leaning towards him. I don't know. Now, listen, we do know this. They are not afraid to yank his ass right on up out of there, right? It took what, 7 quarters, 7.5 quarters for they got his ass up out of there, and we never saw his ass again. But one more time, and then they took his ass right back out when they brought him back in after he gave up a sack. So I don't know.
This schedule is not. It's not easy for an offensive lineman. I mean, you're going up against LA. They've got a really good defense out there. And then Philly with some of the best defensive tackles in the league. The Giants have a top 5 defensive line in the league. And then good luck against Baltimore and all the stunts that they play up front. Like, I don't know, man. This is not the kind of schedule you want to go up against if you've got a inexperienced, underperforming, lacking confidence left guard. It makes me seriously wonder if they should go with Jalen Moore early on in the season, and then if Kingsley shows you something in practice, maybe you switch it up as you get further into the season.
So take away the reps. Gotcha. I think they have convinced themselves, whether as Serda said, because they want Jalen to be the swing tackle, or they really want Kingsley to work. Like, they're going to give this a shot, Jack. I mean, that.
What if that's the thing that loses you the bye, though? Like, man, it's just really risky.
I hear you. They probably tell themselves, "Shit, we somehow got that bye last year."
I know. With them playing tackle, like, then Skyy Moore is starting out there. Oh yeah.
And then we had to go ahead and kick our guard out there, who looked like he's Jason Kelsey size.
They had a running back off of the street. Rashee Rice's knee exploded. Their left tackle was doing like an Olay. They still won 15 games.
I do think there is a little bit more serious nature. I think they're over having the 15th best offense in the league.
Yeah.
And I think they believe a lot of that is due to, yes, the injuries, and due to the fact that they can't do a 7-step drop. Maybe a 5-step drop they can't do. All right, before we get out of here, what is this? What's going on with the running back position? What is this? I saw a report that the Chiefs are potentially among teams interested in adding to their running back room. When I mean, I don't know. I never. Maybe you talk about pass rusher, I can get with that. Maybe D line, I could get with some thought there. Maybe safety, considering that Hicks and Cook seem to play the entire game during preseason games. There's some positions where I felt like, all right, I could see some depth added there. I don't know. For me personally, running back is not one that immediately jumped out to me.
So this is something that I think the Chiefs have done over the last couple of years. I mean, you look at last year, this is around the time that they added Samaje Perine. And we had been talking about that of, hey, they should probably add some kind of a running back. Like this room looks really thin. And earlier today, Diana Rossini reports teams that are making calls in search of running backs include the Saints, the Browns, and the Chiefs. Now, the first two teams on there, I don't think should surprise anybody, especially the Browns, given what's happening with their second round pick, and he still has not signed his contract. The Chiefs were a bit of a surprise to some people, and I think this went in a number of different directions on social media throughout the day. Ron, my read on it, and this is just my read, this is about Elijah Mitchell. I don't think this is anything in regards to Isaiah Pacheco. I think Pacheco's looked fine, and all of the reports coming out of camp is that he looks explosive. He looks like the player that he was, which is I don't know, the 30th best running back in the league, which is fine. They can win with that. Kareem Hunt's going to help them in short yardage situations. It sure sounds like Brashard Smith has some kind of a role in the passing game, but it may be more of a gadget type of utilization. So Elijah Mitchell is the one that has not lived up to the expectations. He's supposed to bring some juice to their lineup. He's lacking that. He doesn't look like he's fully healthy. Who could have seen that coming? They bet on it. It failed. It is what it is. So you have to find a replacement. So now you go out there and you say, all right, what's available? Who are some teams that could potentially have a running back available, just like the Broncos last year didn't have a use anymore for Samaje Perine? Samaje Perine is the opposite of what they're looking for, but that kind of a move is probably where the Chiefs are at right now. Go out, that 6th round pick that you just got for Skyy Moore, use that to acquire some kind of a running back. I think that should be the kind of move that they're looking at.
That's what I'm saying, like, boom, what are we talking about? Like, that's what I was going to say. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out what kind.
I don't think they're in like the Brian Robinson game. Probably, Travis Etienne's reportedly like being shopped. But like, I think Travis Etienne, because of where his contract's at too, because he's he's up for an extension, so he's going to be looking for more money. You could probably get him cheaper than you could get Brian Robinson at this point, because he hasn't been that productive the last couple of years.
But there's a feel that that's what they need. I mean, I don't like it. I just, when I say it out loud, all right, we know what Isaiah Pacheco is, and you say the 30th, maybe. I think he could probably be better than that. We know what Kareem Hunt is, and we're talking about the potential third back. And now that means ETN?
I don't think they aim that high.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't think they necessarily would either. But I mean, I think like BK's right. Like, they do want like a Samaje Perine, Jerick McKinnon type of player. And
do they not have that?
It's Elijah Mitchell is kind of supposed to be that guy, but maybe all of these injuries that he suffered his first couple years in the league have just caught up to him, and he doesn't look like he's explosive at all. And Brashard Smith is still like a project player. Like Brashard, I don't feel comfortable with Brashard Smith trying to pass block right now at this point, and he needs to get some reps and show a little bit more before I'm willing to just roll with that.
I get that, but. Like, don't they have enough people there in front of him for him to work into that role and get that trust leading into? Like, I didn't think
not that have juice in the passing game.
Like, the Jets are supposedly like could maybe move Breece Hall or whatever.
Again,
I'd be more interested in their third string running back Isaiah Davis than Breece Hall, because
I think
it would be cheaper.
I think the kind of thing you're talking about, Ron, is like Amari DiMercato, a running back from the Arizona Cardinals who gets some opportunities there. He's a little down on the depth chart. He's like their third or fourth guy. If you flipped them a 6th round pick for Amari DiMercato, who over the last couple of years has 37 catches for 225 yards and a little bit of juice, that's the kind of thing that I think maybe makes some sense for where the Chiefs are at right now. I don't think, like most Chiefs fans will probably not be familiar with the running back that they trade for, would be my assumption. I don't think they're going for somebody that you've had on your fantasy team in recent seasons.
I don't know, man. It's just interesting to me. Like, how many touches is this person going to get on this team?
Probably 5 a game.
That many? Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Maybe. I guess.
I mean, what did Samaje Perine average last year?
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's be honest. Samaje Perine was the second back for most of the year when Pacheco went down.
Right? Yeah, he never really got much run as a actual running back. He was almost exclusively like in that third down back category.
Yeah.
So he finished with 48 touches, 28 receptions, and 20 carries. So you're talking about like 3 a game for him. I think you're hoping that this guy has a little more juice and can up that from 3 to 5 a game. And if you can do that, you feel pretty good about it. I think that's the kind of player that they're looking at. I think that's what their hope was for Elijah Mitchell this year. And it just hasn't worked.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't, it doesn't, like, to me, on the concern meter, it's like a 2 for me.
Now, he's in a position that concerns me more, Ron.
Yeah, I'm certain there probably are.
D tackle. Yeah, anybody know what the plan is there? Because Omar Norman-Lott is hurt. He not only injured his ankle earlier in the preseason, but now he apparently re-injured that ankle and is not practicing, and they're not 100% sure he'll be ready to go by week 1. So your defensive tackles right now are Chris Jones, Mike Pennell, Jerry Tillery, and a prayer. That's not ideal. I think that's a position that is very much in play for either a waiver claim or a small level trade like what we're talking about there as well. I think D tackle is very much right for the picking for some kind of a depth addition. I think they need one there.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Hopefully Omar is will be ready to go and be able to rotate in there. I can see them looking out and adding to that group again. Yeah, I mean that seems to be a bigger deal than the damn running back. I mean, as I said, safety too as another one. That the running back thing, like, I don't like. That feels like a story that we're feeling for. I mean, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
And Isaiah Pacheco. If Isaiah Pacheco is Isaiah Pacheco is explosive enough in the passing game. Isaiah Pacheco is like, I'm not saying he's McKinnon, but he's explosive enough until Smith, comes along and is able to add what you're looking for.
This is something that, like, there had just been kind of like rumblings of it for the last like week or so too. It's not just from Diana Rossini. So I think, like, the Chiefs have a little bit of money. I mean, it's still, we'll see if they can sign McDuffie before the season starts, but I think it's certainly more important that they add depth along the defensive line. And I would rather they just go out and look for a veteran, or, they might wait for cut downs and, try to pluck a guy that they like off of somebody else's practice squad or something like that. But I think they definitely need to do that before they address the running back situation.
Do you nuts have scores for this game coming up?
I'm actually excited for this one.
Yeah, we're excited for that too. Let's try it again. Do you nuts have scores for this game coming up? What you're excited about this? What are you excited about?
I'll go ahead and answer this one.
Chiefs starters, Bears starters. The Bears looked awesome in their second preseason game. Ben Johnson is amazing. Like, I think the Bears are going to be fun. Like, they're a good test for the Chiefs, like in the first couple of series and how the starters match up. Because everybody's freaked out about the Chiefs' run defense after last week in Seattle, where the defense was totally out of sorts because they didn't play a single starter, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, our backups are god awful." Like this is actually a good test for the defense in the limited snaps that they're probably going to get.
Those people are idiots that are up in arms about the run defense last week. I mean, with all due respect,
I'm curious about how they line up with the slot corner, with what's going to happen defensively there. And hey, it seems as though maybe, possibly, I hope they're getting their corner back healthy. But then I looked at the depth chart the other day and I was like, so the corner that you signed to a multi-year contract this offseason is now like listed 5th on the depth chart with Christian Fulton. I don't know what's going on there, but I want to see what the cornerbacks look like in this game. The Bears have a pretty good weaponry at this point. Luther Burden has been awesome so far in the preseason. I want to see how he matches up against their slot corners. I've got the Chiefs losing this one by a final, Ron. I know this is an upset, but a final of 27-23. It's going to be a nail biter there at the end. We'll see if Chris Oladokun can come through, but I don't think he's going to.
I'm going to take the Chiefs to win 23-17.
In a cover too.
Thank God we only have to do this one more time with this foolishness on these preseason games. I don't have any pick of the game. I am not excited because I am watching with just the whole feel of everyone get out healthy. Everyone get out healthy. Everyone get out healthy. You're excited about watching the Bears, of which I'm certain we're probably not going to see old fun Ben Johnson out there. I bet you he's probably going to keep a few things close to the vest. I don't think we're going to have any tackle out routes like he did with Penei Sewell. I don't
need to see that. They were still Caleb Williams was awesome last week. Like
they looked great against the Bills.
Yeah, that's why Bills also
I don't need to
a
see
lot of
the
their guys
plays.
Yeah. Just like, let's calm down. Thank God, man. The final preseason game. Let's get out of there unscathed. That's all it is. Hopefully the Chiefs just do what they need to do, and we see Patrick Mahomes and the crew get in, get their work in, and get out. We are out.